What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today we're going to be talking about a first look at some upcoming DLC, even more weapons, plunder, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and let me know down below in the comment section, how excited are you guys for the marketing of Season 2 coming out this Wednesday? I'll be live here on the channel reacting to the brand new roadmap, the blog post, and any other surprises that are revealed for multiplayer Warzone and even DMZ. This week's going to be huge in terms of really setting up that hype for every single game mode, getting new DLC on February 15th, and then I know early next week we'll probably end up getting the Battle Pass trailer, the preload, and even some other things that we probably didn't expect. But something I wanted to go over first in this video is regarding an update on Gunfight. For those out there curious on the return of that beloved game mode in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, Charlie Intel took it upon themselves over on Twitter to confirm that Gunfight is not going to be releasing at any point in Season 2. It could be a surprise drop that is in the blog post, or the roadmap could even be saved for the mid-season, but according to the information that they have behind the scenes right now, Gunfight isn't going to be a mode coming in Season 2. We did get confirmation that Infected is coming back, but honestly, I'm ready for Gunfight. I want to see a good, 5 or 6 maps added just for that mode. I'm looking forward to that, and it probably hurts to hear that Gunfight isn't coming out anytime soon, but speaking of being hurt, check out today's sponsor. Now, tonight's video is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Did you know that you don't really need a lot of money to hire a lawyer? Well, if you're injured and don't know where to start, Morgan & Morgan has your back. Submitting a claim for an injury doesn't have to be a tedious process. With Morgan & Morgan, there's no need for you to visit law offices and sit through timely consultations. You can submit a claim and have a lawyer review your case with just 8 clicks or less from your mobile phone. Morgan & Morgan has modernized the injury law process, making it easy to submit case details, sign contracts, and upload any documents all from your mobile phone. You heard that right. You don't ever have to leave the couch. You can even text your attorney during the duration of your case. Now, if you're ever in an accident though, you want to make sure you do the following. Make sure you're okay, file a police report, contact your insurance, and guarantee that you have legal representation. Now, you can check out Morgan & Morgan with the special link down below, and thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring tonight's video. Now, speaking of Infected, we also ended up getting a leaked image of the icon that'll be featured for this mode, further confirming that, yeah, Infected is going to be coming to multiplayer with the start of the season, not anytime later. Obviously, other icons leaked out in the past for other upcoming experiences for Modern Warfare 2. The Gunfight logo also leaked out, so you would think that that mode's coming in Season 2, but if Charlie Intel is saying no, either their info isn't up to date, or maybe that mode is for some reason being saved for Season 3, which might not be all the way until, April? I was also reminded by this individual over on Twitter that the Red Team 141 Ghost skin is still not available over in COD Mobile. It was promised to everybody that if you pre-ordered the Vault Edition of Modern Warfare 2 and connected your Activision account to your COD Mobile profile, you will get access to this skin in-game, and I just wasn't aware that this skin still hasn't been released. It's unclear as to why. I would have thought that this would have been released as a cosmetic before the new year, before devs went on vacation, but the skin still isn't in COD Mobile, and obviously I'm aware that different dev teams handle different portions of Call of Duty. There's a whole separate team that works on COD Mobile that is disconnected from any team working on the premium COD series or even Warzone Mobile. That's all separate. And also keep in mind that COD Mobile cosmetics and crossovers are going to be separate from how Warzone Mobile is going to be directly integrated with cross progression, and everything else is going to be featured for COD 2.0. Warzone Mobile and COD Mobile are 2 separate entities for those out there that may still be confused. But we then got some really interesting tweets from CODsploits late last night. The first one is of the classic Rose skin from Modern Warfare 19, and it does look like the Zeus operator skin takes some heavy inspiration from that original Rose look that we had a couple of years ago. This isn't confirmation that classic Rose is coming to Modern Warfare 2, but the fact that these hackers were able to load in older skins onto the new Modern Warfare 2 experience probably tells you that the way that the cosmetics are being built right now is very similar to the way they were built for Modern Warfare 19. It worked a little bit differently for Cold War and even Vanguard, but Modern Warfare 1 and 2 are pretty close to one another. But in all honesty, I do not want to see Classic Rose added to Modern Warfare 2 at any point in the future, and I think even canonically it doesn't even make sense to add in a Classic Rose look, since she of course has left the Shadow Company according to the canon of Modern Warfare 2. So let's just stick with some of her new looks. We don't want to see any type of repeat of a skin like Rose that could be heavily abused or exploited in multiplayer or even Warzone. But we then got a very interesting list of weapons that did leak out, which you guys probably didn't hear about. I did cover the currently known leaked weapons weapons for Season 2 in many previous videos, but we have this video that came out from Buff Nerd Gaming. His link is down below in this video's description. He recaps some weapons that were leaked out from not only Warzone Mobile's files, but even the beta files from Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. Obviously, we know about the Vepr 12 shotgun that got mentioned recently by the usual suspects on Twitter, even the crossbow, melee weapons such as the shuriken, a flaming throwing knife, a katana. We already knew about those, but I wasn't aware that we also have weapons such as the Uzi Pro, that's of course an SMG, the TAR 21, a classic from the original Modern Warfare 2, the Bruin 95 LMG, and even the burst rifle known as the FAMAS. Those are also leaked for Modern Warfare 2. Keep in mind they could be placeholders for Modern Warfare 19, could be scrapped weapons, or could in fact be some of the weapons coming out at some point in Season 2, since we are going to be seeing 5 weapons total. Now, with that in mind, it's unclear if the 5 weapons that are coming are just going to be grouped into, let's say, 3 base weapons, 2 melee weapons, 2 base weapons, 3 melee weapons. We'll see how they actually organize all that, and it's worth remembering that we could be seeing up to 3 or 4 weapons in one receiver, so we could see all weapon receiver release at the launch of Season 2 like we saw in Season 1 with the M13B and the BAS-P SMG, but then another weapon, a part of that same weapon receiver and that same family tree, doesn't come out until the mid-season update over a month later. We could see the same thing happen with Season 2, and any of the weapons a part of one receiver could be some of the ones we just talked about, whether it's the TAR 21, the Bruin 95, or the Uzi Pro. I'd be curious to see how that ends up working out at some point on February the 15th. Now, I can't show you the gameplay on screen for obvious reasons, but the usual suspect known as Codsploits over on Twitter did go ahead and post some of the first footage of Plunder over in Warzone 2.0, and Plunder is being played on Al Mazrah. Obviously, at this point in time when I'm recording this video, it is before the blog post reveal, the roadmap, so it's unclear if Plunder is meant to come out in Season 2, but the fact these hackers were able to force load this content into the game now has me thinking that Plunder is on deck ready to go, and it'd be shocking if they don't release that mode in Season 2. I mean, Season 2 is meant to kind of bring Warzone 2 back to the roots of Warzone as we knew it, and they're doing that by not only overhauling just about all the gameplay mechanics and systems in Battle Royale, but they're also bringing in Resurgence for Ashika Island, so I think adding in Plunder for Al Mazrah and maybe even Ashika later on is something worth doing as soon as possible, let's say Season 2 or the mid-Season 2 update by the latest, and we could see towards the HUD that there is a $1 million cap like we saw in the original Plunder from Warzone 1, and obviously there were variants of Plunder that we saw in Warzone 1's life cycle. We had Plunder Blood Money, we had Golden Plunder even during Vanguard's life cycle. I'm a huge fan of Plunder, and I'm looking forward to seeing the return of this mode for Warzone 2, so the people out there could stop saying that DMZ is like Plunder 2.0. I get to an extent why people think that, but DMZ is just on its own 2 feet. I mean, DMZ is supposed to be the Escape from Tarkov equivalent, over in its own corner, although it reuses the same map for Warzone 2.0, which is Al Mazrah, although it's going to reuse Ashika Island. It's not Plunder by any means, right? Real Plunder is coming back, and hopefully we don't end up seeing some type of weird rotation system where some days you could play Plunder, some days you could play DMZ. I'm sure they won't do that, but at this point it wouldn't surprise me if a silly mistake like that ends up happening. Now, something I've been saying as well is that if they get all the content out the way in Season 2 that should have been in the game a while ago, but if they get it out the way by February 15th or the mid-Season 2 update by the latest, it'll truly feel like Season 3 and forward will actually be adding in new content, and content that we haven't seen before, either in Warzone 1.0 or content from Modern Warfare 19. That's what I'm hoping for, right? Get out Infected, get out Gunfight, get out Plunder, Resurgence, all the overhauls, quality life improvements should have been there day one. Get all that out as soon as possible so we can actually focus on brand new original content that I think would help better reflect what it means to be in a new era for Call of Duty, right? This new era of Call of Duty known as COD 2.0 has been heavily marketed to us ever since the COD Next event, right? This whole idea of cross progression with Warzone Mobile, with Warzone 2 to Modern Warfare 2, you know, seeing a brand new generation of multiplayer and Battle Royale and DMZ, like they've touched the surface or they've scratched the surface lightly with those concepts, with those ideas. We could all see the innovation and the potential, but we just haven't seen all of that to the fullest, and I would hope to see all that to the fullest before the end of the game's life cycle, because we're likely going to get a new Call of Duty this fall, which celebrates the 20-year anniversary of Call of Duty, so let's at least get some crazy innovation now so this sets up the future of this franchise in ways that we haven't seen before. Now, also an update on the redeploy balloons, which also got leaked out by the Ghost of Hope as of a couple of days ago. Those are going to be returning in the form of redeployed drones, and we actually got a glimpse of one of those drones in the official promo art for Ashika Island. It's actually the thumbnail of the Ashika Island trailer that we ended up getting happening. We could see one of those drones in the distance through this cover art, so I'm glad those are returning, and I'm glad that they're kind of changing the way those worked. But like I said before, right, redeployed balloons are one of those things the guy introduced so late into Warzone's 1 cycle, along with many other quality of life changes, to the point where you would have thought that was all kind of beta testing for what we were going to see day 1 in Warzone 2, because you would have thought whatever feedback they got for some of those new features would be implemented day 1 when Warzone 2 would have came out. But none of that ended up happening. But now that we're kind of going back to where we were with Warzone 1 by the end of Vanguard cycle, I think it's best to see a lot of those great things that got introduced so late redesigned a bit to fit this new era of Call of Duty as we know it. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on our first look at some upcoming content here in Season 2, or what could be future seasons of COD 2.0? What are your thoughts on the brand new weapons that are coming, and even Plunder? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.